What's up guys, welcome to Anchor Designs. I'm James and this is part 2 of the forge build that we have been doing, and this is designed for people here within the UK. We built the burner of locally sourced parts, and now we are going to be building the enclosure for the furnace's actual self. So follow along for the bit of a journey that we've got. We've made some mistakes, we've made some fixes, and all in all, turned out great. Materials you're going to need is 50x50 by 5mm angle line. You're going to need some 50mm by 5mm flat bar. You're going to need about 2 meters of 10mm threaded bar and some nuts and washers. Using the Kennedy power hacksaw just to cut everything down to length and down to size. It's not the fastest in the world, so just bear that in mind if you are thinking about getting one. We're going to use a Sharpie pen and a combination square next to mark out our holes for us to then drill on the pillar drill. I set my combination square at 22.5mm across and roughly went in between the centre of the rule, if that makes sense, just to give me a rough idea. We're not building spaceships here again, and this is a forge. It's going to move, it's going to have to creep, but the whole idea of this is to have accessibility. You're going to break the bricks, you're going to need to replace components. I could weld it together. I've got a lovely welding set. I could weld it all together if I wanted to, but that's not the point of the visit today. And again, it's for the common man just getting started. So yeah, that's my idea behind this one. We're going to use a center punch and drill out the holes to 11mm. I've using the pillar drill here because I've got one. You can use a hand drill if you want to, but I'm starting off at a pilot hole and then opening those up to 11mm. I haven't really used this pillar drill a great amount of time, and I had a little bit of issues with the larger hole sizes, with the belt being quite slack. So you'll see that later on, but I have to make some adjustments to that. But you can just as easily do this with a hand drill if you so please. Guess who made a mistake here? This guy did. I had 3 of the angles. I cut them all at 20" or 510mm if you're French. And I shouldn't have done that because I wanted this open platform at the top to be able to have the forge open, but as well as having a resting place for your tool, a tool rest effectively at the front. Shouldn't have done that, so we've just gone back on the hacksaw to cut another section to length. Oops. I had no idea this was dancing around the floor. Whilst I'm cutting these to length, I'm just in the background doing some work on the pillar drill.
2 hours later.
Quite funny here. The drill press that I'm using is from the early 50s. It's a Progress number 11 or number 12 Junior, and for its day it was considered a very low end. Well, it was a budget machine compared to the like Jones and Shipman, like the one I've got, the precision micro drill that I've got. But you compare this to the things you buy today, it's crazy.
Okay guys, done the angles, they look spot on. Done the holes now, so these are slightly overlapped. I've made a little bit of a place here for resting tools, etc., resting the bar in. And I've left these at this height because I don't want them sat on whatever this is, where this is going to be placed. I haven't got room in my workshop to have, you know, a dedicated area because I've just got too much stuff. So ideally, what I'm going to do is I'm going to make this wide enough to fit on top of the anvil when I'm not using it, and on top of this base. So I think that should look quite good. So I'm just cutting the flat bar at the minute, and it's going to go brace over here to keep it tight in, and I'm going to make a door at the back that I can put all the bars onto. Coming along. Paint it, get it done, make some hot metal.
I've got to say, I do love the little power hacksaw. It just stays in the background, chugging away. It's not the most fastest of machines by any means, but it makes no mess, and they're so cheap to run, and you can just leave it to it whilst you're doing other things. It's brilliant. Apart from cutting threaded bar, I tried to tie wrap them together to put them in, but I wasn't very successful.
Okay guys, what we've just done is we've effectively made a guide punch. So these are typically what they are, but it's similar. I didn't have one long enough to be able to put through these holes, so I just whip one up very, very quickly, and all I'm going to do is use a square this side and this side, and then I can mark that just gently, and there we go.
I don't know how I did this, but I messed this part up, and you'll see why later on. And I've tried to be subtle to change it, but I can't do that because it's just not the ethos of this channel. So I don't know how, but I used the transfer punch. I lined everything up to be exactly where it needed to be. The holes were fine; they were absolutely spot on. But the device, the transfer punch that I used, wasn't pointy enough and didn't transfer its mark very well, so I couldn't see it particularly great. And it doesn't help that the steel's quite rusty, because I bought it from a stockholder that is quite well known in this area, and they give you material quality that was the salvage from the Titanic, so not particularly great, but hey ho. So I had to go back and I drilled them, and it worked fine after that. What can I say? I'm an honest guy. To drill everything out, I'm using 10mm threaded bar, and I used 11mm drill bit to get a tiny bit of clearance to open everything up where I need it to do, and that worked out fine for me. This is the brick that I had to redo, and that was the problem child that I had. But yeah, it works fine, and it went together absolutely spot on, so can't really grumble about that. And these are the braces now that we're doing. I'm just lining everything up and marking everything out, and I will then be able to put it in a machine vise and drill it as one entity, one part. And yes, I know I'm using zinc coated threaded bar and it's poisonous and I'm going to die from it, and being of the amount of welding I've done, I have given myself zinc poisoning before, and it was horrendous, and I wouldn't recommend doing it. And I know I'm using nylock nuts, and the plastic's probably going to melt out if it gets that hot, and if it does get that hot, then the whole workshop is probably on fire and I've lost everything I care about. So, whatever, it'll be fine. Anyway, I had a few issues on the pillar duo with the belt slipping. I had to stop, pause, tighten up the belts, and get back working to it okay. And it worked fine, to be fair. It's going through 11mm and it was fine. The hardest thing was trying to pull down on the handle whilst recording. That was the hardest part of this mission. And just deburring everything up here, breaking the edges. Do you ever look back on a part that you've made, or something that you've created lovingly from hand, and think, this has taken me all day, and I've drilled holes in 4 bits of angle and some flat bar, and it's taken me hours. How does this happen? How does it happen? I don't know. However, it is done, it is completed. This is the back of the forge. During this week, I've made some changes to the burner, and I'm going to do an update video on that. And I will do a full build of the next part of the video, which is going to be the anvil stand. But it went together fine. It works great. I can't show you any footage of the burner of inside of it at the moment because there isn't any. That will be in the next video. And that's going to be a wrap from me for tonight, guys. Thank you so much for watching. Hit that like, hit that subscribe, give me a comment, and join me on the next one. Thanks, guys.